When buying or selling your home, call Leo Bato. He has years of experience in real estate, showing honesty and integrity in every transaction. He's a person you can definitely trust. So book your appointment with Leo Bato today by giving him a call at 818-648-4837 or by visiting him on the web at www.leobato.realtor.
Rejuvenate your smile with Dr. Lourdes Capelong's comprehensive range of dental solutions. Along with general dentistry, Dr. Capelong specializes in cosmetic dentistry, including teeth whitening, bonding, dental veneers, and surgical crowns. Whether it's urgent care or preventive treatment, she'll take care of you and your smile. To schedule an appointment, call the clinic at area code 323-257-7582.
Visit abateservices.com for fast medical transcription service. This podcast episode is brought to you by AB Music Creative.
And the podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause, Mr. Jules Cruz.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You know, the reason why I'm excited for this, I had the pleasure of having the conductor of the Filipino-American Symphony Orchestra, Robert Schroeder, on the podcast.
Wow.
And that's a different kind of music genre.
You know, that's interesting you say that because, like, you say the Filharmonic. That's what I do. Is I created a group called the Filharmonic, but it's all a cappella.
Okay, what type of songs do you sing?
We do a lot of so first of all, if you don't know what the Filharmonic is, it's just an all a cappella group of all Filipino singers, 5 members, and we do mainly pop music, little R&B, but we're very like 90s inspired. We love like that era, so you know, that whole thing.
But then again, Jules, with regard to the Filharmonics, how does that compare to, oh my God, I don't want to say it, but I'll say it because you think I'm going to say it, but I might say it, but I don't want to say it, the Pentatonics.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is like we love them because the reason that we started our group is because I went to school with one of the members of the group, and he's like,
did?
Yes.
Was a Pentatonics in existence when you went to school with one of the members? No.
No. He well, at the time, like he was doing the a cappella group at our college, and he left. So then he told me to take his spot in the college group. So then once Pentatonics got on the show and they won that show, he told me, it's like, hey, the next season of the show is coming up. You should put a group together, looking for, you know, something like kind of like for like ethnic.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, like Filipinos, you know, we need a platform. So I made a Filipino group, and like so we were very much inspired by their path, and also like, obviously like he's
But
a big
that's,
video.
I mean, that's the niche right there.
Yeah.
Original songs, how many do you have?
We have 3 original songs. Like, you know, it's so hard in this industry with a cappella music because it's very much a cover-driven world. So it's been like kind of a challenge going into original music, but hopefully we have more lined up. So far we have 3.
Nice. So what's your voice?
I sing bass. Like I do like
I couldn't tell. No, just kidding.
soprano, yeah. So it's like especially in acapella, it's like vocal bass. So it's not a lot of like normal singing. Typically it's just a lot of like dim and das and things like that. But you know, it's important.
It's very important. It's the pulse. You know, people think it's not, but it is the pulse of the song.
That's something that people don't realize about bass players in general, right? It's like there's a reason why this is the rhythm section, like, and like a lot of it is like, you know, you handle a lot of this like emotional, you know, story of a song, but also it's can you keep that time?
Yes.
Can you keep a groove?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Yesterday by the Beatles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That bass line drives the song.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 and then it goes down to a boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. Exactly. And there's so many different things that I can do when I'm covering a song, and I'm thinking about, you know, obviously I have to be in charge of the chord progression, and I need to make sure that, you know, we stay in tune, but also what can I do to change this groove up to make it feel like a different song? And so there's a lot of things that I think is like, it's really important, but also it's like people don't recognize whatever the bass does.
So I don't think so. My wife is a bass player.
Good. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad we get people that appreciate it.
Actually,
so, you know,
Nino's wife is a bass player also.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah.
So, okay.
So I'm surrounded by the right people.
Yes.
Thank God.
We feel you.
Yes, thank you.
So, what? So there are 5 of you.
Mm-hmm.
You started the group.
Yeah.
So imagine the only bass player. Actually, no. He did start the group. It was for you two. It was the drummer who started the group. It was the bass player who did the legwork, Adam Clayton.
Uh-huh.
How hard was it to get members to join you? You know where I'm going at.
No,
right?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you were kind of like the soprano or maybe tenor one,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm starting a group. Okay, fine. But you're the bass player.
Yeah. No. It's true. And here's the thing: is like we didn't get a lot of like. It was hard to find people at first because we were picking from like other a cappella groups, other choirs, and it's obviously there are so many talented Filipino singers, but are there Filipino singers who know a cappella and know the style? And because it's a hard thing to know if you don't have any experience doing so. At first, we were trying to figure out how can we do this, especially if, like the goal was to get on TV. So I knew a guy, and his name is VJ. He was on The Voice originally. He auditioned for The Voice, so I called him up, and once we had him, it was like we really were rounding out a thing. So the rest of the people we found were like just friends at that point, and luckily we've been together for like 10 years now.
10 years.
So it's been like just a very fortunate thing for us because it was like, can we figure this out within a month and audition for the show? And we did, and here we are.
You said being in an a cappella group is a hard thing, and I agree because singers have a tendency to. Okay, let me rephrase that. And the people are gonna hate me phrase it.
No. Is this a singers versus musicians debate?
Singers have egos.
Oh.
There are 5 of you doing different parts. And that in itself is already hard because everybody wants their parts to be heard, but sometimes their parts need to be felt, not heard.
Yes.
And an a cappella group, sometimes mic or no mic, sometimes you're given one condenser mic or 2. You have to be able to be your own sound engineer on stage and sing beside the next person beside you. And am I getting the
No, absolutely.
So now that I've painted it, let's go macro. Tell me the dynamics inside of it. From the time that you guys go buy, who's buying burger, who's buying takeout, and then you guys meet at rehearsal. What goes on? Yeah.
Well, okay, here's the thing that I think about often, and I like to think about a band, and you might feel this way, as like a sports team. Like everyone has to have a role, and everyone contributes in their own way. And there's so many different things that people don't think about when it comes to music, because you have to be a family in order to make music, and you have to prioritize the music first. But the thing is, not only can you be, the best drummer you can be, you also have to be like, okay, can you drum? But also, are you also someone who can pick the place that we're going to go eat? And can you do social media?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like
DIY, right?
Yes. So that was an important consideration when I was like forming the group too. I was like, do we have personalities in here who are people who will contribute no matter what? And am I willing to be the person to set that example first, because I'm making the group? So will I do everything I can in my power to make sure that this group thrives? And I think like I was thinking about that, and I was like, I see that in him, and I want him to be in the group. And luckily, I was right, because at any point these people could have been like, no, like why would I help with that?
Or even go solo.
Yeah,
and leave the bass voice. But so okay, now who decides which song to cover?
It always is like very democratic about what we can do. There's plenty of times where we covered a song and it sounds like trash, and I'm just like, no, throw this one away. Even no matter how much we worked on it, like this is not the one for us. So everyone has an opportunity to pitch a song, and we all vote on it together. Like, is this going to make sense for our brand? Is this going to make sense, like numbers wise, things like that? But at the end of the day, like if someone's really passionate about something and they pitch it, it's like we have to support this person because it's art and it's their art.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you've agreed on a song. Who arranges it?
We have a couple strategies. We do some group arranging, which is we'll just lock ourselves in a room. You have an hour to figure it out and just do it.
An hour to figure it out. Like your bass line, you have to figure it out.
Yes. Yeah. And so we've done that strategy, but also like we have times now we're like, okay, we have a little more time. Can you just arrange it yourself? We'll open Sibelius, get our keyboards out, and do it ourselves. But when
you open Sibelius, do you solfege?
Yeah. We're all, all of us in the group, and we're all like we're in choir and we grew up in like middle school choir forever. So we're definitely nerds in that way.
So you see notes, you can sing it just from.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I mean, don't test me. Don't give me anything hard. But yeah, like we're all pretty good readers at this point. But yeah.
So someone writes it, and then you look at it. Okay,
Yeah, okay, that's your part. And move on and go higher up. But basically, yeah, it's like at this point, it's figure out the key and figure. Here's the bass line. Can you do the melody and just harmonize it? Oh no, we don't like it just harmonies. Let's do background parts. Can you sound like a guitar? Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you guys argue?
The thing is, like, we do have.
This is so unfair. I'm sorry. This is so unfair. I should invite the whole band next time. I'll invite all of you next time.
My opinion is the only one that matters.
Okay, go. How do you guys argue?
We argue in a way that's like I'm always like kind of the mediator, and I'm trying to like figure out. I'm making sure that our priority is creative, like satisfaction.
Yes.
Everyone is like, it's not about how you're feeling. You feel like you're gonna get hurt by this. Like now, like is this the best music we can possibly make? So I think at the end of the day, we're 10 years in now. It's like everyone knows that I don't care how everyone's feeling. I want to make sure that everyone's feeling good about the product more than anything else.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure, like, do you have these issues in like when you're
yeah, but and then, oh my God, especially when there are girl issues back when we were singing. Oh my God, no rehearsal today. Why they broke up? Oh no.
Yeah, no, these are the factors that, like, we all have to deal with because we're all people.
Yeah,
and it's a very human thing to create music together. But the only thing you can do is be like, is the music going to be good? That's what we have to do.
So now the music that you guys cover, do you do OPM? No.
We've done a couple OPM songs, like over the years,
Like Gary Valenciano stuff. No.
Gary Valenciano.
Boom 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Listen, you sing a little bass too. We did like Saharonimo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tala.
Yeah. She's amazing. We love her. But when we were over our first time in the Philippines, when we sang over there, we did a couple more. I'm forgetting exactly what songs we did, but OPM is like, that's the wave, man. There's a ton of good OPM songs. I love OPM.
So now, when did you know that singing was going to be something that you would embrace as an adult?
The thing is, like, we were very fortunate in that within our first year of being a group, we got on TV, we got on a movie, we got on another TV show, and it's like, at that point, as a 21-year-old, I was like, I have no choice. Like, I have to pursue this and I have to like do this because this is like an opportunity that people will never get typically, especially as a bass singer. Like, when would I ever get to do this? You know what I mean? I feel like I'm, fleecing everyone. So like, I better love it and enjoy it. So I think it wasn't hard for me, and it wasn't hard for my family either to be like, yo, yeah, enjoy this for a while.
I had a guest, Julian Brio, and he said that, shout out Julian. He said he had no plan B.
Yeah.
This was kind of like your plan B that turned out into the main plan.
Yeah.
What was plan A?
I was studying biology at school.
Oh, it's so far.
Yeah. I studied biology, and then I got the call from my friend. He's like, make a group. I was like, all right. Dropped everything, made the group, got on TV.
What'd your parents say? I would assume your parents are Filipino, right?
Yes.
So they had something to say.
They had something to say. Well, my dad is an artist.
Okay.
My dad paints, incredible artist, and he was always his whole life, I want to paint. So he's like, when I was like, I want to do something creative. He's like, yeah, why would you do anything else?
Okay, wait. I want to hear the dynamics of this conversation.
Yeah.
So your dad is an artist, and he loves to paint, and all his life, all he did was paint. Mom, not an artist. Mom is like, go to school, right? Dad wants to stay out of it because dad might be on the radar and mom might go, why aren't you working? So dad doesn't want to get involved until son, Jules, decides, I want to be in music.
Yeah.
What was the conversation like?
Okay. This is not far off. But my dad is like, is such a good artist, and he deserves, like, he wants to have like more fame. Obviously, he's like, he's so good. But on my mom's side, like, she was basically saying, I support you in doing this, but like, what are the chances it's not going to work out? Because, Filipinos in American television,
Yeah.
like, what are the chances it's going to work? So, she's healthy skeptical about it, but my dad was like, what are you talking about? Go for it.
I'm going to share something with you in the audience. Everything you say before the word but is bullshit. The truth is after the word but.
Yeah, right.
So if you repeat your mom's sentence, yeah, I support you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I know.
I think you're good, but scratch everything she said from the beginning.
Like, if I ask her about that now, she's like, I never said that. I never said Filipinos don't. I'm like, okay, we're already how many appearances on TV, and now you finally say that. Take that back.
So you did this. You started your group. Did you ditch school? I mean, while starting your group, did you drop out of biology? You did.
Mm-hmm. I went back during the pandemic. Finished just to make my whole family be like, okay, I did it. Okay, but truthfully, for those years, it was just music, just touring, just making videos and everything.
So now, this is you. When you were growing up, you knew how to sing. You knew you had that talent. But why wasn't there any vision board or vision to start a group until a friend of yours had to call you up? Does that make sense? As opposed to me, did not know. Just to give contrast, I did not know music, nothing. I just wanted to be popular and be in a band.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I told my mom. I said, I just want to be in a band. She's like, you don't even know how to sing or play any instrument. I don't know, but I just want to be there. You, as opposed to you had the talent, but you didn't start a group until your friend told you to start a group.
Yeah. That is really interesting. I think it's hard to pinpoint like when these kind of shifts happen in your brain, because over the years, like, your fearlessness goes away as a child, right? And everyone's like pounding you with, okay, be realistic and what can you do? So for the longest time, I was like, I'm just going to do what I think is like the next realistic step for me. And I had decided, like, probably honestly a month before I got that call from my friend, I was like, I'm done with music, I think, after this year. Take a break, like focus on my biology classes and finish and do something like, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So I just never thought that this was a possibility for someone like me to do. I didn't feel like I had, like the talent that was like in your face and everyone knew that you had to be a star. I just knew that, like, if I were to get there, I would do something great with it, but I don't know how I'd ever get there is the idea that I had. So
amazing.
It took someone else's vision for me to help tell me that, like, I can be a part of this. Like, why not me? There's a bunch of people who are doing this kind of thing, but why can't I do it?
But you know what's amazing also? His vision, your trust. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you trusted this person who told you to start a group.
And when I look back, I'm like, what was I don't remember what I was thinking. I was like, you dropped out of school and you did all this. Like something really, happened to me in that moment where I was like, why not me? I can do it.
But let's talk about the mindset of ingraining real talk or real situations in kids. Kids are inherently dreamers, right? Like as kids, as kids, we were dreamers. We dreamt of being whatever, an astronaut or. But then again, our parents, especially Filipino parents, are scared, or they want us to be on the safe side. So they tell us, you know what? Let's be realistic. In hindsight, how did that affect you? And I'm not putting your parents on blast, because my parents were the same way too. But how did it affect you when they were telling you to be realistic?
And the thing is with my families, my parents are like really supportive about creative things, but there's always just small comments from the rest of your family or whoever else. You know what I mean?
Right?
It's like small things, and it's not.
Your son is doing this.
It's not to discourage you. It's not to be mean, but it's like they're trying to look out for you, and I get it. But
this episode is brought to you by Leo Bato and Associates, ang realtor na patok.
It's definitely something that I don't want to have to do to anyone. I'm like, man, there's so many opportunity.
We're in the States.
Yes, there's so many opportunity to make it happen, especially with everything you have now, all the resources.
Right?
There's no reason to discourage someone if they truly love it, and there's always some way to make it happen. So, but for me, yeah, I think you don't realize it at the time because you just go live your life, but then you look back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and you're like, when did I lose that excitement? When did I lose that fearlessness? Because you just don't realize how much it affects you over time. And then it's like they say, like, if you turn the wheel on a boat just an inch,
an increment, right?
you'll end up somewhere else. So I'm like, those comments, man, you tell a kid, are you sure you're gonna do that? And it's like, he's like, yeah, I'm sure. And then
you just casted doubt, right?
Yeah, 10 years later they're on a completely different path.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I mean, right, to whoever adult is listening to us right now, I mean, they should watch their words, really. And vis-a-vis, if you say something good to a child, may not mean anything to you, but 10 years down the line, that child's doing something perfect because you said something that actually touched that person's heart, something like that.
Even if it's just that day, man, like
good job.
Yeah, oof, that means a lot to someone who's doing something that is like kind of, everyone else is trying to discourage them from doing it. So they just need one person, they just need one comment.
Yeah. 10 years. How's the passion going?
It's great. But here's the thing is, like, as we get older, it's like, do I want to be on tour this many times? And like, we're doing the TV thing and it's exciting, it's fun, but I'm like now trying to be like, what can I do that makes me feel like I don't know how to do this? And I'm trying to, because we've been doing it for 10 years now.
So like you're challenging yourself. You think you've plateaued.
We're trying to find other things to do, and I'm finding out new interests that I have. So I've been like doing my tour thing. We just finished our Europe tour a few months ago.
How many cities did you do in Europe?
We did it was like 3 weeks. So I think it was like 14 shows like that.
When you travel, do you travel light or do you travel with a crew?
Acapella, man, nothing.
Wow.
They just bring their mics for us and then we're good to go.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's your technical rider?
It's just in-ear monitors and like wedges just in case, and then just 5 mics, wireless mics.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah.
No lighting guy, no nothing.
You don't need it. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. We can see, especially when you're on the road like that, you just keep it stripped down and it's like fine. We don't,
Have you guys tried rap, hip hop?
I do a little rap, like in a little moments like that, and it's like I'm like I can't pull this up. Because I'll tell you a story real quick. One time we opened for the rapper Future. Do you know Future?
Yeah. Dude.
We opened for Future, and then we just weren't thinking about what it would come across to an audience that actually likes like hip hop, like trap rap. So they were watching us, and I'm about to do my rap, and I was like, "Oh, this is so awkward. I'm about to do a rap in front of people who love hip hop." So I was trying to do it, and then like everyone in the audience is staring at me like, "You have no idea what you're doing. Like this is not rap." So it was so embarrassing. So like I kind of like toned down the whole rap thing now. I was like, let's just do a little singing and pick our spots with that sort of thing, because man, like the audience was roasting us on Twitter. Like, can't believe this guy's rapping. Someone said they tagged me, and then they said, someone get the Filipino Jackson 5 off the stage. Like,
seriously?
Yes,
oh my God.
That's the thing, man. You got to know the audience.
But see, like who said this nicely? T.I. Rapper T.I. He said, I'm not gonna pay any attention to someone who hasn't invested anything in any information about me.
Yeah. No, totally. That's
I was like, dude, wow. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Here, perfect example. Harry Styles. I love like as it was.
As it was, yeah.
Yeah, that bass line. Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You guys do that? No.
The thing is, like, there's so many interesting things that happen in pop music that people, I feel like, don't appreciate. Like,
You think?
there's a ton of good music out there, and everyone's like, it's just pop. It's just top 40. There's so much interesting stuff happening instrumentally all the time, and I'm like, I hear a bass line, and I'm like driving in my car. I'm like, we got to cover this.
You should,
so I can sing it, because I don't want to just be singing whole notes.
Like that's one. What else is nice? Lisa and Cult Jam did "Lost in Emotions." Boom, 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 boom.
Classic stuff.
Doom, 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 doom.
Like whenever we do this stuff on the Late Late Show, He has us record
Seth, yeah.
with James.
Oh, James Corden.
James Corden. Whenever we do that, we have to record like probably like 20 songs.
Really?
Just so like whatever the celebrity guest is on that day, we can figure out like what sounds best on their voice, what they want to do. And I'm like, a lot of times we sing songs like from the 70s, 80s. I'm like, man, there's so many good bass lines out there.
Yeah.
And it's so fun singing all this stuff.
Can you do the bass line to Let's Groove?
Let's groove to down. Oh, what is it? Yeah, that's
Right?
that's a good
You
one.
guys should do that.
Yeah.
The whole Boogie Wonderland.
Yes,
Boogie Wonderland.
dude. That whole era is amazing. Yeah.
You know what? I think, man, if you guys can we'll talk offline. let's not share it with everybody.
That's
Sorry.
right. Yeah.
Private conversation. Okay. So now, dynamics amongst yourselves because that's important for you guys to last 10 years. I mean, that's hard. Even the Eraserheads had to implode after a little bit over.
Why
10
is
years.
that? What is it? Like, what is it? What did you feel?
You know, different directions, right? Different personalities, but they're back together. They're the largest paid OPM group.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest band in the Philippines and among Filipinos. But 10 years, that's hard.
Yeah.
How do you guys deal with it? Like you mentioned a while ago, like serve the music. But then again, you can't discount life changes, life events, all that thing. 10 years is a decade. That's a lot of time.
Yeah. And we started all of us pretty much in our early 20s.
Yeah,
So it's
21. Like for you. Yeah.
We dedicate our this whole decade just to doing that. So I think the important thing is realizing that we're going to be a group as long as this makes sense, for everyone.
But as long as it makes sense, that's subjective, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, I make sure that I'm supporting everyone's, like individualism as well. Cause like the minute you're like telling people that you have to be in the group, but it's going to fall apart without you and guilt tripping them into not being a part of it. It's like the thing that you have to realize is we're in this to make each other's lives better. And that's the sacrifice we're making. But the minute that takes too much time for you, it's okay. But we've been very fortunate that everyone feels that we have a purpose here still.
Yeah.
And we want to keep sharing our music and sharing Filipino culture. We even created another group now called Philosophy. And it's
with an FIL.
With an FIL, yes. So we realized that there's so much Filipino talent, and that's what was our original mission, was being like, why don't we have a platform for Filipino singers out there? So now we created another group for a bunch of people in college and people and other Filipinos who sing, to make another group so they can go do tours, they can do their own stuff, because it's just important to us. So like I think we all now have another purpose, which is how can we grow that platform and help other like younger Filipinos to do what we did, because everyone deserves to have
Yeah.
it.
So is this just your idea and your vision, or is this a shared vision among the five of you?
It started off with me creating something that I felt like was a need for a TV show.
Right.
And then the minute we got on the TV show, we realized this means a lot more for our families,
Right.
and for our culture. So I think we decided that, we all have to be part of this vision, and everyone has to help out and figure out ways to help grow this, because especially when we did Pitch Perfect 2 and we were like the Filipino.
You did Pitch Perfect too.
Yeah. So we were the Filipino group in the movie. So once we were there and we got a bunch of love from like people back home, we just realized this is much bigger than what we thought it was going to be. So
it's like you guys are doing what Jockey did to the whole comedy circuit. What the Black Eyed Peas did to pop.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And
and shout out to Apple too.
Shout out to Apple. Galing talaga, no?
So we just knew that we have to keep doing what we do, because it just means a lot to the community.
Now, with this in mind, and let's talk about the community. Sometimes the Filipino community can be harsh, especially to its own kind, right? You do that, I can do better. It's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Have you guys? Were you born and raised in the States?
In the States, yeah. I grew up in Las Vegas, where at the time the Filipino community was smaller in Vegas, but it's starting to get pretty big now. But I think the mentality that I've had an issue with the Filipino community in this area typically is like crab mentality. Everyone's
Yeah.
trying. Yeah. So it's hard working with different people and saying, hey, well, how are you working with them? Work with us. And it's like, aren't we all in this together? We're not established enough to be doing this kind of stuff. Be fighting each other. So I'm grateful for.
Say that again. We're not established enough as a people to be doing this to each other.
We're all trying to grow. Well,
Right?
We got to support each other.
We cannot have one troll in the community.
Yes, yeah. And that's why I'm grateful for platforms like yours.
And
Like,
thank you for supporting it also.
of course, this is why we're here, because we need to get the message out. I'm not here to tear anyone down. We shouldn't be ever having to do that. But there's so many cases where I've seen that when I'm working with different people, different like teams, and it's like I'm not here to pick a side. We're all on the same team. I thought, right? But yeah.
So everybody in the group, all born and raised in the States, or
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So second gen Filipinos carrying the flag actually.
Yeah. Whatever we can do, I think that's become a big mission for us.
You could have easily said, I don't want to have any part of this, because you are under no obligation to have any part in representing the community, right? And I have 5 kids who were born in. I have 5 kids. I'm thinking if there's another. No, there's no other one. I have 5 kids, all born and raised in the U.S., right? And I want to know, where did you get the spirit to actually carry the baton that your mom and dad brought forth?
Yeah, it comes from, I think, also growing up in an area that didn't have ton of Filipinos. So I wasn't proud to be Filipino for the longest time.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah. So I think the issue was,
you weren't proud.
Yeah.
You weren't really ecstatic, or
no. It's like I knew I was Filipino, but it was hard for me to really internalize and like realize it was something until I left my area, my hometown
in Vegas.
And
Was it Henderson? Which part of Vegas?
Henderson? Yes. Yeah,
where the flips are.
Yes. Now we're taking over.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Okay, go.
And there's 2 seafood cities now.
Yes,
So
in Henderson.
Yeah. So listen, times are changing.
And a Jet Korean barbecue, which I like going to. Okay, go, Jules. Okay, so for the longest time.
Yeah, I didn't feel proud. So I think part of the reason I started the group was because I wanted that. I wanted to be proud of who I was. And then like finally getting love from different Filipino communities, then I was like, this is the best thing in the world. Like being Filipino is amazing, man. So
So when did that epiphany come, though? When that turnaround, going, wait a minute, I think brown, love it. When did it come?
If I'm being real, I don't think it came until we were on the Sing Off, like the first TV show we were on, because we did a couple episodes and the word was getting out around the community. Like, there's a Filipino group on TV. Let's go to a taping.
Isn't it so weird? None of you were born in the Philippines. You guys are all Americans.
Yeah.
And they were calling a Filipino group.
Yes, that's right. So then by the 3rd episode, now, like a third of the audience is Filipino. And by the last episode, there's like half of them. So.
And you didn't know that the Filipinos were loyal to their kind.
I didn't realize that, like.
That they were like that loyal.
Yes. And then I think, because at first just our families, it's like 8 Filipinos in the corner. Thank you guys for being here. But the word got out, and I'm like, man, Filipinos will support like their artists and however they can, like, and they'll come out and just be amazing all the time. So you even see that with like on social media.
Yeah.
The most intense fans you can have, no matter what, if their family is Filipinos, they'll always support you.
Like Journey. The band Journey, because of Arnel Pineda, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
You'd see, they're all brown. they're like, oh my God. How about the Jabberwockies? You guys are close with them, no?
No, I haven't met the Jabberwockies.
It'd be nice if you guys could do a show together. Like they dance, you guys sing.
Yeah. We used to do a lot of stuff with World of Dance, and we've met a couple of the other dance crews, and it's all a bunch of Filipinos there too. But
do you guys dance? Ooh.
No, I'm bad. On the TV show, we had the choreographer for Magic Mike, right? And I was telling her, I was like, I can't body roll. Can you please teach me how to body roll? It took her like 3 weeks, and then I finally got one good one, and I just have peaked. I still can't body roll. It's so bad.
Let's talk about Pitch Perfect too. How'd you get the call to be part of it? Did you guys have to audition, or was a part made for the Filharmonics? What was it?
I got a call from the producer, and it was the same producer as the TV show we were on originally. So he called me up. He says, we're looking for a Korean group. But he says, we can't find a Korean group. So the next best thing, can you guys do it? And we said, yeah, we can do it. So we just listened to different K-pop tracks and different P-pop tracks. And we were like, how can we make this like what they're looking for? Because we knew they wanted a Korean group originally. So we just put them together. We copied exactly the same style of arrangement as Gangnam Style.
Go Gangnam Style.
Because it was in 20. We did it in 2014. So we copied it and they loved it. They loved it. So that was just our audition. Was just sending a quick little recording, and like we got on immediately. We were filming within a couple months.
Like right now, all these boy bands like BTS from Korea, Blackpink, and then you have SB19 from the Philippines. How are you guys excited for these groups, or are you like, okay, they're doing this, we're still a cappella? Do we incorporate like drum loops or
Yeah, I loved seeing the success of anyone, especially Filipino artists, SB19 and all those groups. It's so cool to see P-pop on the rise, especially. Yeah. So I think we are focused now, like on how can we, kind of band together. Can we do some of their music?
Right.
What can we do? But yeah, it's definitely just excitement about just the genre popping off, which is really cool. Are you
going to limit yourself to just being a cappella, or are you going to incorporate some tracks, some stems?
That's tough to say. We like to incorporate tracks that help. I mean, like instruments that help kind of raise everything. We do a little violin, guitar, stuff like that. So I think that's our next journey is how can we incorporate different instruments, but still keep the essence of like a singing group.
You know what I'm thinking of right now, off the top of my head while talking to you? I'm thinking of writing a song wherein I really play drums and you play bass with your voice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dude, that would be...
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That would be...
Yeah. Ready, yeah.
Yeah. That would be nice. Now, these kids, okay, let's not get serious, but there are kids who are unsure of themselves. Like what we talked about. One increment to the left or to the right can change the course of a plane, a boat, your life, and all that, right? Having known this, what advice can you give parents first for their children or their nephews or their nieces?
I think that being a child these days is so difficult because there's so many distractions. So I think the best way you can support them is guiding their energy towards a passion that they have. And whether it's investing in, equipment or investing in classes, things like that, just to help support however they can do it, because it's so easy for a child to just be at home and not think about doing anything. But I think one of the reasons that a lot of us end up being good at something is because we just loved it as a kid and we were like, this is fun, we'll just keep doing it, and all of a sudden all of their time gets spent on it because they developed it. So I think it's just finding out what they like, help them find it, and then support it however you can or whatever resources you have. Because for me it was just going to like taking classes, joining choir, meant everything for me.
What you just said was powerful, because I guess the challenge for parents is finding where the energy is actually going, because every child has an energy. Mm-hmm. How are they spending or investing it? And your job as a parent, right, is to capture that, the essence of that energy, and help the child by investing, like what you said.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't, I have like younger cousins, things like that, but I don't have children. Like, do you feel like it's difficult to find out what their passion is as a parent?
Sometimes, because like especially if you have kids who are introverts, mm-hmm. like you ask them, they say nothing, and then you see them do something. I think good question as a parent, your job is to, how do I encourage my child to keep doing what he's doing without me trying to get in the way? Because you know how kids are, right? If that kid's an introvert and you try, oh, good job.
Yeah. That was me. That was me, yeah.
Right? Like, how do you feed that without really discouraging your child?
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Dr. Lourdes Capulong.
Especially if the child has resentment. Oh, you like me doing this? Guess what? I ain't doing this.
That is so tough. Yeah, that's an interesting point. But like, you just gotta find a way, man.
Right?
Yeah.
How about for the child? Like for the child who's a skeptic because they've been told the truth, which is, hey, might not work.
Yeah.
What advice can you give? Because you were once that child.
Yes. There are some things that are comforting. For me, it's finding good examples and people who can do what they can do and kind of role models in that way. So I think seeing some of my friends excel or some of my family do things, I was like, that's really interesting. I can do that. But I think something else that is helpful is just realizing that there are opportunities to change your mind.
Explain. I want to hear.
So for me, it was thinking like, I can do this, but if it's not working out, why can't I just I can change my mind tomorrow. I want to do something more practical. I can do it. There's time. There's so much time.
Ooh.
So I think that was a problem for me. It was like, oh man, if I do this,
not being stuck up.
yeah,
right?
then I'm gonna be stuck doing this. And like, no. Every day is a chance to do something new. So
every day is a chance to do something new. Wow.
that's how I felt. So I'm like, if this doesn't work out, then why not do something else tomorrow? And there's time to do the practical thing eventually if you feel like you want to. No shame in that either. But if you love something, just keep trying it until you feel like it doesn't work out for you.
Is tomorrow today for you?
Is tomorrow today?
Is that Be careful, your bandmates are watching.
Here's the thing is, like, I will keep singing and I will keep being a singer my entire life, but I have started some new stuff. Is like, that's, I've been producing TV shows. I've been writing a little bit more. So, I mean, like, tomorrow it's on its way someday.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jules Cruz. Got you there.